the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Philippine and U.S. armies conclude Chalaknip 2025 joint exercise. Philippine and U.S. Air Forces launch Cope Thunder 2025 in Pampanga. Gasoline prices decline for second straight week. MMDA launches alert system for traffic violations.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Tuesday, July 8, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rob Susan Abay, here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Philippine Army and the United States Army Pacific concluded exercise Salaknib 2025 with a formal ceremony led by Philippine Army Commanding General Lieutenant General Roy Galido at Fort Ramon Magsaysay, Nueva Ecija yesterday. The joint exercise aimed to boost defense readiness and tactical interoperability between the two armies while strengthening bilateral ties. It featured extensive training in humanitarian assistance, information operations, counterintelligence, maritime security, and foundational warfighting tactics. Lieutenant General Galido emphasized the importance of the partnership, calling the exercise a strategic platform for building resilience and addressing modern security challenges.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Meanwhile, the Philippine Air Force and United States Pacific Air Forces launched Cope Thunder Philippines 2025 at Clark Air Base, Pampanga yesterday, led by PAF Commanding General Lieutenant General Arthur Cordura and PACAF's Lieutenant Colonel Brian Masler. The joint air exercise runs until July 18 across the northern Luzon, involving 2,301 PAF personnel with various air assets and 225 PACAF personnel supported by F-35 fighter jets. Participants will engage in field training exercises and subject matter expert exchanges to strengthen interoperability and joint mission capabilities. The exercise highlights the enduring Philippine and U.S. alliance and supports the regional security and the AFP's modernization goals.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from JAI 97 IB empowers youth leaders in 2025 summit in Zamboanga del Norte.
ROF, the 97th Infantry Kalasaglahi Battalion and the local government of Rizal successfully concluded the 2025 Youth Leadership Summit at Barangay del Pilar, Pinian, Zamboanga del Norte. The summit gathered the youth leaders from Rizal and nearby communities for leadership workshops, values formation, and security awareness. Mayor Marisa D. Manigsaka and Lieutenant Colonel Jaime J. Sanz led the event and emphasized youth as key partners in nation building. The summit strengthened civil-military ties and equipped participants to become responsible and resilient community leaders. This is Jai reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jai.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
On the other hand, the Philippine Navy confirmed that it is holding exploratory talks with Japan on acquiring Abukuma-class destroyer escorts, aligning with efforts to boost maritime defense capabilities. Naval Public Affairs Office Chief Captain John Percy Alcos said a Philippine delegation will inspect the decommissioned ships following Japan's official invitation. The vessels, known for anti-submarine and anti-ship warfare, are seen as reliable and versatile assets. The initiative, confirmed by Defense Secretary Gilbert Chodoro Jr. and his Japanese counterpart last month, signals the stronger Philippines-Japan defense ties and a shared commitment to regional maritime security.
DWDD Armed Forces Forces News.
Police and military forces are verifying the claims by the New People's Army regarding the recent shootings in Toboso and the burning of heavy equipment in Himamaylan City. Colonel Erwin Romel Lamzon of the 3rd Infantry Division urged the caution, saying the authenticity of the NPA's claims must be confirmed. The 94th and 79th Infantry Battalions are leading the probe with support from nearby brigades. The police confirmed 5 armed men claiming to be NPA burned 9 million pesos worth of quarry equipment but left the watchman unharmed. Despite the NPA's admissions, authorities stress the need for further investigation. The Commission on Human Rights will also conduct an independent probe into a series of civilian killings in the province.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear from Meljoy of First CRG about AFP-LGU partnership paves the road and water system to peace and development in Isabela.
Yes, Rolf, the local government unit of Jones Isabela officially held groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a farm-to-market road and water system in barangays Decamay 1 and Decamay 2. The ceremony marked the beginning of infrastructure projects aimed at improving access to basic services for more than 1,500 residents. In strong partnership with the units under 5th Infantry Division and local government unit of Jones leads the implementation of the project. Present during the groundbreaking were local officials led by Mayor Nel C. Montano, along with key officers of the Philippine Army who are providing critical engineering and manpower support. The Philippine Army support units included the 502nd Infantry Brigade, the 513th Engineer Construction Battalion, and the 95th Infantry Battalion. The event stands as a symbol of unity between local government and the military working together to bring long overdue development, progress, and hope to remote communities in Jones Isabela. This is Meljoy Nacho Arroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of First CRG.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Military Academy reaffirmed its commitment to cadet welfare and institutional integrity following the maltreatment incident involving the 4th-class cadets last September 2024. While the PMA has not yet received an official police report or formal complaint, it confirmed that a thorough and impartial investigation was conducted under the military justice system. The cadets involved were held accountable and sanctioned in accordance with AFP and Cadet Corps regulations. The affected cadet is currently on indefinite leave, pending medical discharge unrelated to the incident. PMA respects the family's right to pursue legal remedies if they so choose. Since 2018, the Academy has implemented wide-ranging reforms in training, supervision, and monitoring to prevent maltreatment and foster a culture of respect, discipline, and professionalism.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, fuel prices went down for the second straight week today. This comes as the global oil market reacted to the de-escalation of tensions between Israel and Iran. The per-liter price of gasoline was rolled back by 70 centavos. Meanwhile, diesel prices went down by 10 centavos and kerosene by 80 centavos. Last week, the price of gasoline was slashed by 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter, diesel by 1 peso and 80 centavos, and kerosene by 2 pesos and 20 centavos.
Armed Forces Radio.
Now from our reporter on the ground, let us hear the report of Shah about 54th IB Donor and SK Boost the Youth Center with board games in Nueva Vizcaya.
Yes, Rolf. A donor donated cash to the Ambasing SK Council and the 54th Infantry Magilas Battalion, which was used to purchase board games for the Ambasing Elementary School Reading Teen Center at Nueva Vizcaya. The donated items, Scrabble, chess, sungka, and more came from Ma'am Nerissa Purungao and were turned over to enhance the center as a space for learning and recreation. Students, youth, and KK Council members joined in friendly games during the turnover activity. The community expressed gratitude for the donation, which promotes youth engagement and mental wellness. This is Shaina Araneta reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaina.
DWDD National News.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority launched its SMS notification system for traffic violations under the No Contact Apprehension Program or NCAP. The system sends real-time alerts to motorists whose violations have been captured by AI-powered cameras. These violations are manually validated by MMDA personnel. Motorists will receive a no-reply text message from sender name MMDA_NCAP starting with the alert May Huli Ka. To avoid scams, the messages will not include any phone numbers or allow replies.
DWDD. National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. directed the Department of Public Works and Highways to speed up the rehabilitation of San Juanico Bridge. Marcos said the retrofitting of the bridge has caused long queues and travel time. He added that the sudden closure of the commercial traffic is felt even in Mindanao. But the president emphasized that ordered the DPWH to fast-track the retrofitting so it can be completed efficiently.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Leonor about CHR launches probe into NPA-linked killings in Negros Occidental.
Commission on Human Rights in Bacolod has initiated a motu proprio investigation into a string of killings in Negros Occidental, allegedly perpetrated by the New People's Army, targeting civilians accused of being government informants. CHR Investigation Chief Vincent Para confirmed the move amidst rising concern over multiple deaths in Taboso, Calatrava, AB Magalona, and Victoria City. The killings, which the NPA claimed responsibility for, prompted local officials and police to call for unified efforts to restore peace. Taboso Mayor Richard Jao Choco and Colonel Rainero de Chavez of Negros Occidental Police condemned the violence and vowed intensified operations, committee coordination, stronger intelligence to stop further attacks and maintain public safety. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for AFP Community News, 1FP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD. National
For other
News.
national news, the Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting concluded its unofficial parallel count for the 2025 midterm elections yesterday. The organization reported a historic 99.909% match rate between electronically transmitted election returns and their corresponding physical copies. PPCRV spokesperson Ana de Villa Singson also reported a voter turnout of 82.2%. The highest in any midterm election in history. Singson further reaffirmed PPCRV's role in ensuring transparency and trust in the electoral process through its independent audit.
DWDD. National News.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology renewed its warning against any attempt to enter the permanent danger zones of active volcanoes. PHIVOLCS Director Teresito Bacolcol issued the warning amid an increase in seismic events in Taal volcano in Batangas province. He warned that a major or minor eruption may occur anytime. The warning also includes the Canlaon volcano in Negros Islands and Mayon volcano in Albay province.
Armed Forces Radio.
From Solcom, let us hear from Jess about AFP Chief of Staff leads the Solcom's change of command ceremony in Lucena City.
Yes, Rolf, the Armed Forces of the Philippines held a change of command ceremony for the Southern Luzon Command, presided over by AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo S. Browner Jr. yesterday at Camp Guillermo Nacar, Lucena City. Major General Cirilo C. Balaoro Jr. officially assumed command as the new commander of the SOLCOM, taking the helm of all AFP units operating across Southern Luzon region. In his speech, General Browner highlighted the critical role of SOLCOM in sustaining peace and security in the area and expressed full confidence in Major General Balaoro's leadership and capabilities. The ceremony marks a significant transition in AFP's continued mission to uphold the national security, support local development, and serve the Filipino people across Southern Luzon. This is Jess from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jess from Solcom.
DWDD. National News.
For our weather update, the southwest monsoon or habagat will prevail anew in most parts of the country, although it is not expected to dump heavy rains. Its 5 a.m. advisory, Pag-asa said that Metro Manila, Ilocos Region, Cordillera Administrative Region, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Zamboanga Peninsula, BARM, Batanes, Occidental Mindoro, Palawan, and also the Antique, Aklan, Sultan Kudarat, and Babuyan Islands will likely have cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Meanwhile, the rest of the country will be experiencing partly cloudy to overcast skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms within 24 hours. Pag-asa said that strong monsoon rains the past weeks were then enhanced by Tropical Depression Bising when it was inside the Philippine area of responsibility. It said that now that the storm was outside, it has weakened into a remnant low.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, the Education Secretary Sonny Angara believes that there is no need to declare an education crisis in the Philippines. This is despite a learning crisis reported by a UN body. Angara said that last year, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. exerted his leadership in the educational field and he has this conversion strategy, asking even non-educational agencies to help in the fight against the learning crisis. He also added that PBBM is looking at the problem holistically as it is a multi-dimensional problem. Angara will mark his first year as Deputy Chief on July 19.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from Spencer Ross about 5 NPA members surrender in Surigao del Sur.
Of 5 new People's Army remnants in Surigao del Sur surrendered to the 4th Infantry Diamond Division, marking another major blow to the weakening insurgency in the region. The 75th Infantry Battalion facilitated the surrender of 3 regular NPA members and 2 militia ng bayan, who turned over 7 high-power firearms, including AK-47 rifles and an RPK light machine gun. Driven by hunger, exhaustion, and separation from their families, the former rebels chose to rejoin society under the government's ICLI program. Furthermore, military officials hailed the event as a success of sustained operations and civil-military operation. This is Spencer, reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Spencer.
DWDD National News.
The Judicial and Bar Council will start screening with the 17 aspirants for Ombudsman this month. The 8-member JBC will screen the applicants and submit a shortlist to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. The interviews are scheduled for July 30, 31, August 1, 4, and 6. The Ombudsman is an influential key post with sweeping powers to investigate, suspend, and prosecute the public officials.
DWDD National News.
The search for the bodies of the missing Sabongeros allegedly dumped into a lake in Batangas could begin within the week. Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla said their basic plan is to map it out and look at the condition so they can plan how to go about it. Remulla did not specify which agency or group he had tasked to begin the operation. When asked about the possible search sites, Remulla said the operation would start at a fish pond lease reportedly held by one of the suspects. The location will serve as the initial point for the search.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Glenn about AFP Honors Unit's professionalism receives medical equipment donation.
Yes, Rolf, the Armed Forces of the Philippines honored key units for their commitment to reform and professionalism during the AFP Transformation Roadmap Institutionalization Pathway awarding and received donated medical equipment from the City Shrine Club at Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City yesterday. AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Bronner Jr. led the ceremony and recognized the Office of the Chief Nurse, AFP Procurement Service, Civil Relations Service, and the Office of the Internal Auditor for their AFP TRIP recertification. He also welcomed the turnover of medical equipment and said that it boasts the AFP's healthcare capacity and disaster response. The event emphasized the AFP's ongoing drive for excellence, integrity, and service. This is your Glenn Legal Chan reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Glenn.
DWDD National News.
The 15 police officers being investigated for possible involvement in the case of the missing Sabongeros are now under custody. Philippine National Police Chief General Nicolas Torre III said the officers come from various units of the PNP. He added that all were still on active duty except for one who had retired and 3 who were dismissed. Torre said the number of police officers under investigation could grow, however, depending on the witnesses' statements.
Forces Radio. DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, the WWD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Ralph Susan Abay for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Mga katropa, alam mo ba na ang DWDD 1134 kHz AFP Radio ay ang opisyal na radio station ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas na binubuo ng Army, Navy at Air Force na siyang maghahatid sa inyo ng mga balita mula sa ating Armed Forces at iba pang impormasyon. Mga katropa, hanapin at ilike kami sa Facebook, Twitter at YouTube. DWDD AFP Radio, ang boses ng Kawal Pilipino.